Welcome gamers to Xenonauts 2, which is a game that's going to be coming out in the coming weeks. So I thought I'd just do a bit of a video showing what it's got, why it's different than Xenonauts 2, which on the surface doesn't seem like it's got that much going for it, but God, it feels different. It just feels so much more polished. The battle seems so much more engaging. It's just I can't nail what the differences actually are, but I thought I'd just do a bit of a video showing what it is. I'm going to be sort of cutting bits and pieces. I'm going to strip out the early part of the game, and we'll just go into sort of like a little bit later on when the battles become a bit more interesting. But I thought I'd just go through almost like a tips video, and this is an early access version. There's still stuff being added before the release, and then there'll be more things. Well, it's pre-early access, because when it does release, it will release as an early access, and so that's the way it will actually sort of then come back in. And so with that in mind, let's just get a new game going, and I will be doing a more extended playthrough at some point. I just wanted to go through some ways to approach the game, information basically if you are going to get the game as to what you might be wanting to have a look at. Just go to new game. Now I'm just going to turn off the introduction mode so we don't have to play the tutorial. There is actually, no, I might just do that and then turn it off afterwards, because it does present the scenario, which is different. And really the idea of this one is to show the differences between, well, what makes it sort of special as opposed to Xenonauts 1. I'm imagining in my mind that a lot of people are going to be thinking, it's the same game. Like I think that'll be the superficial response, and it really isn't. It's just, it feels so much better. And I haven't played Xenonauts 1 for a long period of time, but it wasn't a game I could ever play for any length of time. I enjoyed it, but I didn't play it sort of like and wanting to get from mission to mission. In this game, there's just some little magic about it that really does sort of shine. You can change all of your settings in through here as well. There's a lot more sort of settings. You've got Iron Man mode if you don't want to be doing sort of save scumming, things like that. So you can sort of certainly tweak it to your own, own sort of levels, which is great. We'll just begin the campaign. And it then just goes through and presents the information. So it's basically being played from 2009. The Berlin Wall still stands. The Cold War has grown ever colder. A clandestine organisation known as the Xenonauts secretly gathers intelligence on a shadowy threat looming over humanity. So I'll just click on these into this one. So the aliens are becoming more prevalent. Then it mentions mysterious figures known as the Cleaners are believed responsible for sort of rising international tensions. This is a major part of the new part of the Xenonauts 2. And it doesn't sound like it's all that much, but these are humans who are helping the aliens, and you've got to now fight with them as well as the aliens, and it's really engaging, really cool. So you've got this sort of whole other subplot where you're trying to get rid of the Cleaners as well as fight the alien threat. And so the Cleaners are established on Earth in their own bases, and you have to then go and raid their bases. It's sort of like, I guess it's a part of the game where you've got some other interest up into the middle of the game, and then once you get beyond the middle of the game, you then really engage fully with the major alien threat by that sort of stage. But it's really cool. I've got to say, this is an aspect I really like. So anyway, that's the Cleaners. I'll just go and click. Mere weeks remain. Yeah, blah blah, and we're into it. Now we're playing with the. This is the tutorial basically. I'm just going to press escape and skip the tutorial. So we'll just do that. And there's a whole lot of dialogue, which I'm just going to skip past all of that, because we just want to get into the tips as to what does go on. Placing the base, where do you place it? So be mindful that the world is split up into different regions. So you've sort of got like the Russian Federation, you've got Asia, or Eurasia, I guess, in through there. Sorry, not Eurasia, Oceania and Asia. You've got Africa, Western Europe. I think they're calling this one Eastern Europe, but Western Europe back in through there. Central South America and North America. So they're the main regions that you then get to control. The circle that we're seeing there is essentially the radar zone for our interceptors to sort of then try to find aliens, and the three different ones that you see there are the levels of radar that you actually have established in your bases. So the first one you're going to go for is trying to get as much land in that inner circle as you possibly can, but also trying to get like a combination of the different regions. And also, you'll notice that there's also different countries in here as well. So you can sort of see that there's like a whole range of different sort of countries. These all have bearing on the money that you then end up making. Now, you get a lot of money from Europe. You get a lot of money from America as well. So, so you really want to be probably around these sorts of regions. But really, like, if you're sort of covering, like in this case, we're covering a bit of everything. If we're in around here, sort of in Turkey or somewhere around here, even on the islands, you can establish like a base out through here on one of these sort of islands and through the side. It doesn't matter that much, but it does help by having as much land area as possible, so that when you shoot the aliens down, you can then go and do the missions. You don't want to be doing something where you are establishing something, for example, out in the Caribbean, where the majority of what you're protecting is the water, because when you do shoot the aliens down, you then can't do the missions. So this is always a good sort of place to start. Let's just go into here at Crete. I think it's Crete. So Western Europe, I'll just leave it there. So that's first tip number one. It then just goes through a whole lot of stuff. Pause and read if you're wanting to read this sort of screen. It does give you information again, but let's just crack on with this. Now, over time, you are going to get different research projects. And you only get the first one is just combat vehicles. And these are very important. I don't remember these being in Xenonauts 1, certainly not this early in the game, because you can get like what's called a Mars unit, which I will actually go through once we've actually got it and show you how to deck that one out. The way I think it works pretty well. So we'll just assign the research project. We'll come back to this once we've got a few other research sort of established. So we'll just start the combat vehicles, start the research. By the way, if you don't do any research, you get $250 per hour by having your research guys, helping out the countries of the world. But you don't want to be doing that one. You always want to be researching. So we'll just start the research. So that's now 5 days before that one gets researched. Other things, let's just finish off our base discussion, just so we can sort of continue on with that one through there. So main base, click on that one in that side. This is the layout of your main base. I sort of almost wish there was a little bit of randomization with the way that it did get laid out, but so far I've only ever seen it this way. Be mindful when you're trying to plan your base layout that you are going to need to have like more than one of the different types of rooms. So you've got like hangars, storerooms, generators, radar arrays, living quarters, laboratories, workshops, training centres, medical centres, and missile batteries. They all do different sorts of things. And you'll notice there that there's some of these have got like an adjacency aspect, which will be listed up in through here. So for example, the storeroom, if you have a storeroom next to another sort of something else with storeroom capabilities, you're going to get plus 25 storage capability or capacity. If you look at the generator on its own generates 50, but if you've got a second one, it generates next to each other. It generates the 50 for the new one plus an extra 30 by being next to each other. And so this is quite important that you plan ahead with these sorts of things. So there's no one way of doing things, but one thing I do like to do is that you do get adjacency. You can see that's what the little plus is in through here. So for example, this one in through here, this is our storeroom. So the storeroom, we should actually have storage of 150 in this case. So it's actually, we've got storeroom in through there of 100 plus the 25, and then we actually have the access lift, which I can't really sort of show, but that must have 25 in there, I would guess, which gives us the adjacency back in through that side. Do we need another storage area? Most likely we do. So reserve that one for the next little bit of storage. So just think about that one through. So leaving that one in through that side. In through here we have laboratories. Laboratories also have they have an extra +2 research capability if you build a second laboratory next to it. And that would be a good thing for us to try to get fairly early on. Like doing the research is really important. If we're going to put more laboratories in, we're going to need more scientists, which means we're going to need to have more places for them to stay, like the living quarters. You can see that's also got an adjacency bonus. And so these have a +4, so it's 10 + 4. In this case, we've got 10 + 10 plus the 4 adjacency, which gives us the 24. And so this is actually how we can then sort of get extra, as long as we've got the capability to actually put more scientists on, we can then start to sort of go through the science fairly quickly, and that is important. Workshops, we end up again with another +2 with their adjacency. So look at that when you're planning your base. It is important. One thing so I'm probably going to leave the other laboratory out through there. Let's just throw a few of these in. It won't really matter that much. So I'll place the laboratory in through there. We have to leave space for another couple of the hangars. The hangars don't have an adjacency bonus, so let's not worry too much about them. So we'll go and throw one into there. Medical centre is quite important, so I'm going to go and grab one of those. You'll notice that there's no adjacency for the medical centre, so I'm just going to go and place that any old place. I'll just place that one up in here for now. We've got the training centre as well for the crew that aren't going out and doing things. It'll help them to level up. I think that this is an important one, but it's sort of one of those. So you do get 12 and then plus 2 training capability if they've got an adjacency. Let's go and throw that on the back end over there. Now you'll notice that this is now turned red. We can no longer place it, and the reason for that is the actual. It'll be coming down to the power rating of this particular building, and that's shown at the very, very top. Power capability is we're using up 130 of 150. The training centre requires 25, and we've got 20 left, so we're going to need to put another generator in. So with the generator, I'm just going to throw the generator back into this area. That gives me another one back through that side, which will then give me up to 200 power capability, which means I can then just get the training centre. Now we're chewing through the money. I'll just leave this one as the last one that we place. So we're just essentially laying out the base, but consider the adjacency. That's that particular tip. Right, next tip. We've done the research, but we'll come back to it once we've got a bit that we can then have a bit of a look at. We've got engineering back in through here. So engineering is where, again, we get 250 per hour if we don't use them for anything, which again, if you've got something to build it. But if you don't, then this is probably one thing where in the early part of the game, you may want to leave it to just generate a little bit of income, but it's not going to be very much. So now at the moment, all we can build is aircraft if we had a hangar, which we don't, and armor, where we get the defender armor. Now the defender armor is really quite heavy, and so we're going to get better armor fairly early on in the game, so I'm not going to bother building anything. I'm going to let that one just accrue at this very, very start of the game. I've only got 4 defender armor, but that hopefully will be enough until we get what's called warden armor, which will come fairly early. Just need to do a couple of missions, and then we'll actually should have the ability to grab the warden armor. Storage, let's have a quick look at the base stores in through here. We've got the 4 defender armor. We can sell them for 5,000. Now, if we do sell things, just be aware that if we do go and build it, it's costing us 10,000 to build them. So that's why I don't really want to be building them and then selling them for half the price. So it's not really worth doing that. Let's talk about the soldiers themselves. Now, the soldiers come in a couple of different screens. This screen here is really just the soldier management screen, and this can be quite useful. Have a look at your soldiers and really just have a look to see if you see anything with red. Now, bravery is one of the aspects that's very hard to level up. And so if you've got low bravery, then their morale is going to drop too fast in combat. So unfortunately, this rifleman that we actually have is not really going to be all that useful in the long term. I think it's almost better to cut your losses with the people who are really, really bad. Like there's another assault person in through there, unless they've got really good stats, and 63 for the time units is not too bad. I'll explain what these are when we go into battle, but essentially you're looking for anything to do with the reds. Now we do actually have still 2 more that we can do. I'm thinking of just getting rid of him straight away, or Violet, her actually. So I'm thinking of getting rid of her. Hit points are low, time units are low, not really all that good. Now, they don't come in with specific equipment and leave with the equipment. The equipment is yours. The equipment is abstracted, which I really, really like. You don't have to worry about a lot of the equipment. We'll talk about that in just a minute as well. So let's go and get rid of Violet. I think, if we do it in this order, 41 is also low, but she does have other good hit points, good time units. So I think I'm going to keep her in the fight. But if there is reds in through here, just really evaluate them and see if they're any good. This one does have very good reflexes, but I think we'll still just ditch her. So I tend to just come through and clean out the chaff. And unfortunately, she is a sergeant, so she does actually have some extra abilities, but we'll dismiss these soldiers. So we'll get rid of that soldier there. The new soldiers, we don't get anything for that, but you know, we now have 3 more soldiers we can bring in. So we'll just go back into recruit soldiers. And so these are the soldiers that are coming in from the outside. And again, we can have a bit of a look at these. These are all just going to be privates. Actually, there is Violet in there. She's now back in with the mix. But if we just click on bravery, as I say, bravery is one of the hard ones. And so is there anyone that's really good? This one in here, good strength, good time units, good hit points. This is Private Peter Picorni. So we'll grab him as well. So he's in. We need 3 of these, or we want 3 of these to just come in. The next one down through here, if we've got good accuracy, it would be good to get a good accuracy one. Like even this one down through here looks very, very good. Private William Jensen from Norway. And who else? Actually, this it's good to not have too many reds, as we can sort of see in through here. Got the accuracy. The time units are probably the big one as well. Unfortunately, this one doesn't have good reflexes, but has very, very good time units. Does anyone else have good? Well, actually, the one at the top there, Private Jan Gorski. So from Poland. So we'll grab those. So 30,000 to recruit those soldiers. In we come. Okay, so we've now got those. We go back to manage soldiers. They're now all in here. Now we've only got 8 of 9 in the Skyhawk, so let's just go and add a bit more. The thing I like to have at the start of this is either like 1 sniper. Now is our sniper, the accuracy is 57. Let's have a look and see if anyone would be better. Our heavy has got incredible accuracy. What you want with your sniper is you want high accuracy and high time units. They're the 2 big things. And that is pretty damn good. The sniper has got accuracy of 57, but good time units, better time units than over here. So I'm actually happy enough with Corporal Marcus Becker being in that sniper role. We also then need to have, for example, like the heavy, again, good time units, good accuracy. This is mainly for suppression. This is like a heavy weapon person. This is Yana Petrovka back in through here. The rest of them, we need to have like maybe at least 2 assault. Sometimes it's a good idea to have 3, but I'm just going to go with 2 at this stage. Now, look, did we get rid of one of the other assaults? I think we may have. We've got assaults. Accuracy doesn't matter much for these. They use a shotgun. So it comes down to time units probably to sort of see what else we can then grab. So this is a good one. This would be a good one here. 70 would be great to have as an assault. We've only got the 1 assault left at this point. Oh, no, we've got 2 there. Got 2. If we look at the time units, the assault there is 60. It's not bad. It's still not bad. And you want high strength with these guys as well, just so they can carry stuff around. I think I'll just leave that. Actually, this one in here is also would be great. Yeah, Petra Picorni with the high strength, high time units. I might make him an assault as well. So we can just go into the drop down in through here usually. I don't know why we can't do that there actually. Doesn't want to play. Oh, it's in transit, that's why. So we've only just got him in. But you can see there we've now got a better thing. So that's the next tip is manage your team. Get your team sort of the way you want it to be. Okay, so once we've actually got that, now we do actually have, if I just go back to status, it now puts it back into those on board the Skyhawk, those that are unassigned. Now we do only have, we've got 2 assaults on board. Just need to get 1 more rifleman. Now, what we want to be doing is not just having an A team and then the rest. We need to be trying to bring everyone up at different levels so that everyone starts to level up at the same time. So mix and match your teams depending on the mission that you're going for. So let's just go and bring another rifleman in. I'll just bring anyone in at this stage. So we'll bring in that Skyhawk into there. So that's the actual, that's just managing the team. We then actually have things, for example, like as we saw there, recruit soldiers. We've got the casualty list in through there if we had anyone that had actually been killed, which we don't. But that's all we need to do as far as just getting the team ready. And if we then go across to skip this base stores and just go across into the armory screen, I'm not sure why they're not together. It would sort of make more sense if the base stores was at the back after aircraft. But anyway, it's in the middle. And now what we do is we now just evaluate each of our soldiers. Now, Usually, like with games like XCOM, this can be quite an onerous task, but it's not that bad in Xenonauts 2. It's fairly quick to sort of just go through, what their role is. And so we've got our shield unit back and through here. And the thing I tend to look at is the carry weight. Now, if the difference between what their maximum and what their current is more than 6, then keep note of that. If they're not carrying a med kit, keep note of that as well. And so this person doesn't carry a med kit, but is pretty much only within 3 of the carry weight aspect. The actual defender armor that we're seeing that she's wearing will actually impact her accuracy. But again, it won't matter much. She's mainly there as a shield unit to protect units. It's quite a useful unit in the early part of the game when your units are quite squishy. So even having 2 of these would actually be probably a good idea in the early part. They just don't have very much firing power, but they do perform a very, very important role at the start of the game. Now they are carrying this demolition charge, which will destroy terrain. One thing to keep note of, notice how all of the equipment is infinite. You can have as many of these, deck them out as much as you like. I love this because it means that we don't have to then go back to the workshop and build specific equipment. We do with some things, but only the important things. All of the standard stuff we have readily available. All the the resupply of ammunition is readily available. So it's really cool. We're not micromanaging this at all, which is, as I say, I was dreading that may be something that was added to the game, and it's not. It's fantastic. And that also includes things, for example, like all of the standard equipment as well, like the med kits. You don't have to come back and then figure out, did I use that med kit or not? It doesn't matter. It just automatically then just replenishes itself, including all of the grenades. So make use of the grenades because they're free. So when you're in the missions, really do take note of those. Now, these all are weight 6. You can see down the bottom there, weight 6. And what they do is that they actually do end up... that's why we're looking for a difference of 6 or more back in here to sort of try to make use of things. So let's just go through them. We can't do much with her. This is worth 6 as well, the demolition charge. That's got 35 thermal, penetration of 0 armor, destruction of -12 armor, blast radius 1.5 tiles. Now, if we compare that to, say, the grenade, the fragmentation grenade back in through there, this one here is 35 kinetic damage, so it's not thermal damage. So we've got thermal damage in through there. We've got kinetic damage in through that side, destruction of -2 armor, blast radius 2.5 tiles as opposed to the 1.5. So it's a bigger blast radius, so it does more sort of damage. But the destruction, I think that the destruction is better. Yeah, the 12 armor destruction means that you can then blast your way through through the aspects of the game that might be sort of shielding enemy units from you. And that's a big part of the combat, by the way. You've got all sorts of things as well, like you've got C4 charges in through here, that's weight 15. The med packs are also weight pack 15, so you need to sort of be wary of what you've got there. Anyway, we can't do much with her. We also have modules as well, like this one here will make your accuracy go up by +4, and we also then have extra armor steel plates, which will just add more armor, but also add weight onto the armor as well. Okay, so next one, we've got the 2 assaults. So we'll just go across. Winston Lewis, you can see this one is actually using the armor. We do actually have a flashbang, a grenade. We do have a demolition charge there as well. I'm happy enough with that. We've got the med kit. Really, you pretty much want to have a med kit per player. No weight changing through that side. This one in through here, only got 4 difference. Again, same loadout, no problem there. Riflemen coming in, they're going to have better accuracy, so they're going to have a bit of a boost to their accuracy. This one does actually have some extras, so we can actually go and add maybe the demolitions, the defender armor, like if they can carry it. See how this one then went over 6 over what it actually had. Let's get rid of we've got a smoke grenade. Smoke grenades are really, really useful in this game because of the stun damage that they do, which is like surprising, but that's actually, I don't remember that from Xenonauts 1, to be honest, but it's really valuable. So I'm just going to go and throw the extra grenade out. That just gets our carry weight back to normal, gives him better defense, so he's actually now got better survivability. Does impact his accuracy a little bit. it may be with some of your riflemen that you don't want to do that one, but with him he's okay. This one here as well, we've got the various aspects. What's the accuracy? 71, it's high accuracy. Put the defender armor on, it goes down to 66. He's only got 1 time unit penalty back and through there, so it's not too bad. I'll leave that one where that is with what he's got. Extra in through here as well. This one is going to be at 6, so we just get rid of one of the grenades again. I might just more likely to get rid of that one, I think. So I'll just use that. That way we're right on the limits. Again, it's impacting our accuracy. So the accuracy is important, but in this case, yep, she's also 69 of 91, so she's got a lot more strength than the others. So she's going to be able to wear that last defender suit, no problem at all. And so she's actually decked out with everything. So she's raring to go. Now a heavy also then has a little bit of extra that we can put into there. So let's go and throw in we've got 1 smoke grenade. Let's just go and throw in a flashbang. One thing you'd be wary of, you don't want to be blowing too much stuff up because it will destroy equipment. So the flashbangs and smoke grenades are great just for doing sort of like a surgical attacks on different sorts of units. And so she's up now within 4. That's actually fine where that is. You may find in the early part of the game that you don't need anywhere near the amount of weaponry that you're bringing as well. Like this is a weight of 8. I could bring that one out and then go and grab another grenade, for example. So you often don't need the spare clips with your units in the as I say, in the early part of the game. I really could just ditch all of these clips. They're like that's weight 2. In fact, I can bring another grenade in if I wanted to as well. So I'll bring another smoke grenade in. There we go. So she's right on the limits, and that's not really impacting her negatively at all. Then we've got the sniper, and so the sniper has also then got extras that they can bring. If we bring the med kit, now that still brings it up within where I can actually then go and bring 1 more grenade in or 1 more demolition charge. So let's just go and bring a smoke grenade. Actually, I'll bring a flashbang in this case. So that then takes him to the limits. I don't want him wearing armor because that will then impact his accuracy. And Yana Petrova as well. She is also not wearing the armor. One thing that we don't have with her is the is another med kit. I think we're okay. Anyway, the tip here is to just go through, deck out your units, and just get them as close to the carry weight as they possibly can get. Now, the next important thing. You can't do this before a mission starts, and I hope that they actually add this into the actual mission start aspect. I couldn't find it there anyway, but this is what you used to be able to do in Xenonauts 1. If you go into your aircraft area, this is the hangars. Like we've got the 3 different hangars. One of them has got the Skyhawk. If you click on the Skyhawk, it then brings up the layout of where your units actually are. If we just go across and go to, for example, what I like to have is my sniper, which is number 9. So I bring the sniper down into this role here. It allows them to fire outside outside the doors, because they've got the most time units to spend per shot. So they don't get to do very much. So if you can bring them in here, they can fire down through the length of the drop ship and also out through either door. I also, before they go in there as well, I like to get some riflemen. So I've just put a rifleman next on either side of them. Again, just to be able to look out and start to sort of run out of where everything actually is. So I'll just move them across. As far as the back end through here, I like to have fairly defensive units. So we've got like number 1 is our shield unit. Just move that one into the middle. I like to then have assault. Number 2 is assault. Number 3 is the other assault. And then just get the rifleman like this. So that's just so go in and actually do that as well. So that's the next tip. Make sure that you set up your drop ship the way that you want it set up. And we're set to go then. When we go off on a mission, we're now ready to go. So what we'll do is we'll just go back down to the geoscape, and we can sort of zoom out and sort of see this is the night cycle, this is the day cycle. I'll try to get I'll start a combat and just go through the start of it. I probably won't play it all out, but we'll just sort of get it going. So let's just go and unpause. Now if you can go super fast, or you can, I find it more comfortable just to go to game speed of fast. And so you'll see that different things happen, like there's different journalists disappearing. These impact the the panic of the different countries that are around the place. Here we go. Now the first few missions will always be the same. They'll be in different locations, so there'll be a different sort of layout for it, but it's the same theme. So the first one is an alien research team. So an alien research team has been sighted gathering data in the local region. This presents our organisation with an opportunity to eliminate them and recover their equipment for study. And so the mission type is an elimination. In this case, the biome is a tropical biome. The time remaining is 3 days. We have to do this mission within 3 days. Victory rewards are -5, like the panic level for Asia Pacific. And if we lose, it's plus, the panic goes up by +10. So we need to be mindful of that when we're doing it. And we'll just go and launch the combat team. Now, you don't have to launch immediately. It will go back down just to normal time. If I go and click on close, it's then just in real time. And I can then sort of go back and do what we did there before if you haven't done that already. So you can go back and load all these things out the way that you want it to go. So you don't have to do it immediately. And then we're just going to go and click on it again, which then brings up the tactical mission dialogue. And we're going to launch. Now, we should get there in, it's not telling us. If I launch the combat team, it's going to get there in 8 hours. Now, that's going to be during the daylight. So we're going to be there in daytime. I almost wouldn't mind getting there in nighttime, but anyway, let's just do it that way. Because again, the game actually gives you flares to use, unlimited amount of flares basically when you do sort of start these missions. I can't say how much I appreciate that the game hasn't tried to get in the middle of the basic equipment and make you sort of plan for every single bullet. Like a lot of games like this would actually do that, and this one doesn't do it. It means you can play the game at a really nice pace. Anyway, launch the aircraft, away we go. Now, again, it's just going to come through, but it doesn't have, again, there should be I'm hoping that they eventually put in a button somewhere to be able to then change the layout of the actual ship itself. It's really quite important, but they don't actually have it in here. All you can do is just sort of launch the drop ship. So we'll do that. We've already decked it out, and we'll now just go back down and just sort of fly across. Following staff arrived at Western Europe. We've got the 3 privates are now all in there, so we'll just close those. Then it's just going to be sitting back and doing things. Skyhawk goes in. So we arrive at the location, and so we now commence the tactical battle. And we're doing this in daylight. As I say, at night time you automatically get the flares to then throw. You can then throw flares, which they light the area up for the whole battle, so they don't actually expire as well. It's just, again, it's little things that like, it's not trying to be realistic, it's trying to be fun, and it works. It works really, really well. And so this is the mission. An alien research team has been sighted gathering data in the local region. This presents our organisation an opportunity to eliminate them and recover their equipment for study. So the victory conditions are to eliminate all hostile units, and all Xenonauts are eliminated is the loss condition. Now, just be mindful, it is suggesting that we want to eliminate them and recover their equipment, which means we don't want to be blowing them up too much with explosives. So you can overkill, so, in which case you don't get the alloys and the other things that you do need from these early missions. So let's just go and close that. And so yeah, we've just got basically all this stuff. I'll just escape the dialogue because we just really want to get into the nuts and bolts of the actual fighting. So this is all of the layouts are random. I'll just give a few little tips here, and then I'll probably end up closing this episode off. Once we get started, I'll probably just kill an alien or two just so you can sort of see the process, and then I'll play the game through a fair bit and get like maybe a month into the game, and then talk about that, like in the next episode, go through as you're sort of starting to move forward a little bit. So let's just go through. The thing I like to do initially is to just grab the rifleman that we placed on the edge there and just right click around and just have a bit of a look to see what you can see outside the windows, and also not the windows, sorry, the doors. Also, that there is the edge of the map, so when you can see that sort of like that patterning through there, what you can do is actually go and click, just do a single left click, and then just keep on going forward until it doesn't do it anymore. And so that looks like the edge of the map there as well. So it looks like there's not going to be very much on this side, but we still have to clear it out. If we go to the other side of the map, as an example, we can just sort of go further and further out and see how big the map actually is. Just be careful you don't double click, but that's looks to be the limits down that way and down this way. How much further is this going to go? These are the time units that it's sort of indicating how far it's got to go. So it looks like it's in around here somewhere. Be very careful you don't double click. That looks to be about where we are there. So that just gives us a bit of a feel for where we are on the actual map itself. Now what I want to do through here is I want to come out. Now we can't see anything that side. Let's just see if there's any threats on the other side. And usually the maps will then place the aliens in locations all over the place. So just be aware of that. You really do have to go and be very, very thorough. And again, we've got the same sort of deal over here, but we've got a bigger area. So I'm going to go and start over this side, and just I've got 15 time units. Now, a rule of thumb here is you want to keep at least 4, but you want to be careful. Like if we go around this corner, we're going to have 7. But if there's an alien over here that can see me, I'm not going to be able to get back. So I'm happy enough to sort of bring that one across, but I don't know what else there is out this way just yet. So let's just go and move some of the others out and just have a bit of a look. So we're just going to move across, right click over there. Now you can see we've got 60 time units left after that little movement. Spin around, we've got 59 left over. Not seeing anything over that side. We look pretty secure from that location, which means we can actually then go and do this one and move this one up to that corner. And we're now in the right position, and always try to get it so you can crouch at the end of your turn. Now it looks like our sniper is not going to be needed in this particular location, so we'll move him last. This one as well. We'll just come back across. We're not seeing much else down that way, but we just need to and you press the Q and E keys. You can then sort of just move things around a little bit. Just move it to there to start with. If I move up to there. Now I do actually have good movement there, so I'll just move this one up. 23. Okay, we've got on a dock in here. Yeah, the locations are great, I've got to say. Now 23. If I just move across, I've got 20. I can have a quick look down this way. Still not seeing anything. That's 0 there. That's 9 there. So I can still put myself into a lockdown position. And we're not seeing anything with this side, but we're getting ready to now come streaming through. This is where all of the action. Look, this one's got a lot of time units, so he can move a long distance, which is very, very valuable. So we're not finding anything just yet. Now we don't want to leave this one on its own, so I'm going to move this one off to go and join this one. Now we've got 18 there, so we'll just go and position this one in behind. This is one of my assaults with the shotgun. Again, just go and leave it down through that side. I don't think we're going to see much here, but ultimately we've got one that will be coming back through this other side. Let's leave at least a couple of others coming back down this other side. So we've got 44 there. If we just move out to the middle here, the game will pause if it sees someone. I'm not seeing anything that way. Yeah, so we've got 24 left over. Let's just go into here. Not seeing anything that way, including way over there. And lockdown. So we're not finding any aliens just yet. We've got the heavy, who has got 60 time units, so I'll move the heavy down to about here. Again, it's going to give good fields of fire if we need to. Still not seeing anything. And down again. There's no rush at all. Some of the missions you have have got time constraints, but one of the big mistakes people make with this sort of game is that they rush it. This one here can get there with 15 left over. We'll take that. These are great just to sort of position yourself effectively. We can see that there's people out there. People can be useful to see if they get hit, in which case you get some clues as to where the aliens might be. We've still got another one that's going to be required back around in here. So what I'll do is I think I'll keep my sniper fairly central. Let's go and send another assault back over this other way. Now we do actually have 24 units, which I can actually then make use of in here. Still nothing there. Okay, that's good. We're getting a bit of a feel for what's over the other side there. I'll get to 15 there and just drop down. Now technically, yeah, I can't really move those, so I won't worry about those. And we've still got the other assault in through this other side. Now I want to keep, that's going to be 4 on this side. I'll keep one fairly central just to be able to then sort of move off into other areas. Let's go and have a look down this way. I'm trying to keep in behind cover. And then the sniper, we no longer need him at the back, so we'll bring the sniper down into the middle of the map. Now we can climb up onto the top there as well. If you use your scroll wheel, you can then sort of go up the different Z levels. But at this stage, we'll just get him down that way. All right, so that's everyone moved. We just end our turn. But if you do come across an alien, prepare an attack. Don't just blindly go in and try to, use luck. It's not going to do you very well as you go through the game. You need to be trying to protect your units as much as possible. It'd be cool if there was a zoom in factor, but there's just not. Now, did we see the? We didn't see the other person over through there. Let's have a bit of a look and see. Yep, she's disappeared. All right, so just be sure of the areas we haven't seen yet. We'll just come flying down this way. 6 there, we'll take that one. So he'll move in with the others. So we can assume there's no alien back in here, pretty much. I wouldn't mind the sniper on top. Just see what we can get there. So I can go up to there. And we're now seeing the aliens. Okay, so we're seeing it from this position. Now, he's a bit susceptible up and through this other side. I've got a 65 shot there. He does have good shots in through here, 65 there as well. So we are going across the terrain here. They're not looking at us, but they are close to where we actually are. So if I get him down to it's going to take 43 to do a scoped shot. You can see there it goes amber at each location. It has to then go across. It really is just that last little bit there as well. Well, let's keep him up here, and fingers crossed the aliens won't sort of come after him. But let's go after this one. Didn't kill him, but we're a fair way away. So it may come in a bit closer than where we were. So that's now been activated, but I can't do anything else. He doesn't have the action points for doing anything beyond what he just did. Now let's just move across. Gotta think about where we go here. I can get into this sort of location or even over to here. But we don't know what's along this road. So again, we don't want to be going too close. It may have been a bad idea moving him up there. We'll find out soon enough. I can't really get to a position where they won't get a shot at him. But I sort of wouldn't mind if these became the target. So let's just go where there's a lot of stuff in between. Still no aliens down this way, which is good. So this is all fairly good. We'll just move this way, and hopefully this one will become the target for these other aliens. In fact, if I move it across to here, I've got good solid protection with that one. And because if I go on the edge there, you can see that the corner is a bit weak, but the where I am here is really quite solid. So we'll just turn this way and just duck down. It's mainly just want to keep this one here for defense, and I'll leave the others behind. Now, we can get a reaction shot. If I can leave it with 30 if I come into this position. Let's have a look and see. There's another thing that is really important, and that's to try to sort of figure out where we can go with this. If I click in, say, here with 34, when I do that, I'm getting 0% chance. You can see there what it's showing there is it's showing all the things that are going to be in the way that are going to then cause issues, including where we actually are sitting. We have to go through so much stuff to get the shot in on that particular unit. So we get 0% chance of actually hitting it. But I have actually moved the cursor there. If I then press Shift, I can then see if I get a shot, and then we have a 7%, but there's still a lot of stuff in the way that we have to then sort of shoot past, and so it's not really worth it. If I click on there and then try it, that's 11%, so it's a better shot for me. So I might just do that, and that still gives me a actually no, 33. I need 4 so I can duck down. I'll just go to here, or actually maybe just to here at the start. If we don't want to hit the person, I'll just go to this side, and then get her also to crouch, just to protect her a little bit better. And I'm thinking we might as well use this one. The others are going to be able to sweep back past the other side, and so I'll move this one down into this other role, into this other area. We still actually have this one in here. Now this one can get across into these sorts of areas, which I will do that one to there. And we want to have a look down the road and then duck. So these have got the armor. So these have got the extra armor on, so they can actually sort of get in the middle of the fights a little bit. Now, if we needed to, we could actually try to sort of throw smoke to sort of make it difficult for them to spot, but let's not do that just yet. Move that one across to there. Now these initial aliens don't have any sort of area of effect attacks, they've only just got like pistols. So we'll just duck down through there, and then we've got the other units back over this other side. Again, we just want to sort of set up our attacks. By the way, that sniper shot, more often than not, we'll get a kill, but it just, the random numbers, it just didn't quite work that way in this instance. Let's keep on moving across. So this one here, we just want to keep on having a bit of a look around, seeing what else we can spot. These are all destructible as well, by the way, so you don't have to, you can blow holes through these if you're needing to, but we're doing pretty well there. Let's just move up. Oops, there's another alien. Now we don't actually have a clean shot there. Again, if we have a look, I've got a 16. Now if I right click to see, yeah, the 16 was there anyway, but it's a 0%. Now I'm just going to duck down. Now can that one spot? It's spotting down this way, but it's not going to do much. So we'll bring the others around as well and just get them ready for attack. It's a 0, that's a 13. Actually, I could have gone into there, but let's just leave it there. She doesn't have the action points of the others, or the time unit points. I can move, we know that there's nothing else down this side, so I'm going to move this one down into this sort of location. And again, we're not seeing them directly. We'll just pause that one through there. Everyone's moved. It's a good idea to leave some with some shots, like what we've done back over through here with the heavy, but we're not going to be able to use it, unfortunately. So we can set up traps if we needed to with the reaction fire, and that's a good thing to do. Just end our turn. Now, please survive. So the aliens will then have their turn. Yes, it's aiming for this one here, and it may be hitting the shield, but it won't really matter that much. Yep, so they're going after the shield. There was some damage that came for the shield, and there we go. We actually had a shot. Now, we've been suppressed, but that's what the shield is used for. Now, they're going after just population. And we did a reaction shot, but missed. It's coming back towards us, which is fine. Okay, that's one person, another person coming into that region. All right, so now we have, so this particular person has been suppressed. We've only got 10 health points left on the actual shield itself, but what it had to do was to protect the, I'll just scroll up, grab that unit there. It did protect this particular unit. Now, what do we have? Do we have a good shot? Yeah, we've got 100%. That's going to kill that one. We've got a 90% through there. We also probably will have a good shot this way. Yeah, 14% times 10. So we've got like a lot of action points, 45, and we're going to have 15 time units left over. So action points, time units, the same thing in my book. But we've got 10 shots with this with the heavy weapon, and that should kill this thing off. Yep, that one's down. Okay, and we've blasted. You can see there everything is deformable, which is fantastic. So you can sort of crack your way through. This is the one we have to get rid of in through here. Now, again, if I just go back and if I just press tab, I can then sort of tab through the various units. Just go to this one here, and then scroll down, and 100% shot chance in through here. So this is definitely a kill. There we go. That one's down as well. And so we're doing well there. I'm going to keep the sniper up the top. I'm not going to move him from that position. I will get him looking down in that angle. In fact, he's already sort of looking that way, so that's all okay. Okay, so that's good. We've gotten rid of both those aliens. I think I'm going to leave this episode here. That sort of just covers basic combat, setting things up, putting the right people in to take the hits. And in this case, the shield unit has done her job. She doesn't have much shielding left with her actual shield itself, so we do have to be mindful of that. Even this is really cool. Like, even though we're on the layer down through here, it knows that we should be still looking at this layer. The original Xenonauts didn't used to do that. It would actually hide that unit, but it does now show it by default, even though we're on this bottom layer. It's just got these little quality of life things that make such a big difference. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave this episode here. I'll come back in the next episode when we're a little bit further into the actual missions themselves, and I can then talk a little bit more about a few other sort of tips. But with the combat, don't feel that you have to rush in. I probably rushed things a little bit bringing him up. It forced me then to take my shield unit out to protect him, which was important because he doesn't have any armor. She can at least survive there with the shield, and she's still got 10 points left over in the shield. We've got rid of both threats that were down there. I think that's a good illustration as to what to do in that sort of capacity. But I'll come back in the next episode. We'll be fighting some different sorts of aliens, or maybe some cleaners or something. We'll sort of see how that one goes. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you then. Actually, just to finish off that last mission, I mean, it sort of does tie in with this. So you can see there that now most of them have actually been leveled up to Sergeant, because they're now sort of been doing, they've been getting activity. We did actually take some friendly fire there. I did actually move one of my units in front of the heavy weapon and to get shot with one of the reaction fires. So that one was injured. It's going to be he's going to be out of action for 7 days. But you'll see there that after they do each mission, they get extra time units, extra strength, reflexes, etc., all the way through here. So this will improve slowly over time. You can see the ones that actually have leveled up, they'll be sort of in the yellow. In through this other side. So we need to be trying to level these up over time. We killed 6 aliens in that particular one. We got 6 Secton is the actual type of alien that we start off going after, but there's a lot of different aliens, different types of aliens in the game. We found 10 alien scanners. We've got 6 alien magnetic weapons, and we've got 32 alien alloys. Now, we use these for different things. So I'll just accept this particular one. You can see there again the various upgrades. Sometimes if there's different types of attacks, you then get different medals, which then give you another boost as well. And it's very important that we spread this across everyone in our group, so that when we've got like a full contingent, we do want them leveling up, so we don't have a whole lot of privates, and a handful of very much elite forces. We'll just accept this. Now we're going to be going back, so we'll just speed up time again. And we come back to the base. Now this is when it will then tell us about the various reports. Highly recommend you read through these. So pause and read if you do want to read in this point in time. But let's just keep on going across. It gives you clues about how the game will progress, and it's not as if there's varying texts that are going to be different every time you play it. You will find that you will play a certain way, I would guess. You can certainly sort of chop and change things. But let's have a look and see what else we've got. Now, we can do an autopsy on the Sectons. We can then sort of find out a little bit more about them. They also then have like health points, time units. They've got a lot more time units than what we've got. Accuracy is 50, so it's average basically. The strength is average as well. Reflexes are high. Bravery is low. So it doesn't sort of do too well with bravery. It then just goes through how they actually work, and as we come across each type of alien, we'll then get more and more information. We just accept the report. Now we actually have new research projects available, so let's have a quick look at those. If we assign the research projects, now I do want the combat vehicles done, and we'll look at that in the next episode. The alien magnetic weapons. Now the next one we want to go and get is we want to get the extra funding back in through this side. And so these plot ones sort of take the plot along, whereas the things like actually the Warden armor is really, really useful, but this is as well. So maybe we'll get this one first, and then we'll get the Warden combat armor, because we do want that. It's lighter than our armor and more effective than our armor. But let's just go to the Xenobiology. Actually, I'm doing this one first. We'll just leave that one where that is. And that's pretty much all we need to do. We still can't build anything else, so we'll just leave that one where that is. And I'll come back in the next episode and we'll then talk about things. So at the moment, when we have a look at our soldiers, we now actually will have one unit that will be injured. Actually, are they back yet? Yeah, they are back. There should be one that's actually injured with the hit points. If we have a look at these, if we just go across into the armory, and it was one of the riflemen. Yeah, there we go, 80% hit points. So he's still considered okay. You can see there the health. He'll be fine. So it's just like a minor sort of wound that he's actually then got. But then we'll start to find that they'll pick up more and more strength and skills as they start to level up. So the next one that we do, what I'd then be doing is looking to maybe mix out a few of these other ones, because they're all back in here. So we could then go and think, okay, look, the ones that are unassigned, let's get them used to doing things as well. Let's switch out the riflemen, for example. These have now all gone up to sergeant level. We've got a couple of corporates. But let's get our privates sort of so that they're also leveling up. So we would then just go through and think, okay, look, the riflemen are the easy one just to unassign. So we'll unassign both of those. And I might sort of grab, what else have we got? We've got these two in through here as well. And so that the next mission will then go in with more green people, but they'll at least get the skills that they require to start to level up, and we can just get one more of the corporals that were also unassigned. So that then just fixes up the list. Anyway, I'll leave it there, guys. But this is sort of what you need to do. Just shuffle it's fast in this game, but just shuffle the list around and get the skills up with what you're actually then doing. So we've now unassigned actually there it's got the 80 HP there. I don't know why I didn't see it there the first time. Anyway, yeah, he's just slowly sort of going to heal up. You will get others that will be dramatically damaged, like they'll have a lot of problems. But yeah, no, it's really quite simple the way the game works, and it works very, very well. Anyway, guys, going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. I will catch you in the next episode. We'll be a little bit further along, and we can then sort of have a look at sort of probably some more in-depth ways of actually then maybe doing combat.